You woke up today and waited. You waited to feel ready. You waited for energy to arrive. You waited for certainty, for clarity, for the right moment. And while you waited, the day passed. Not because you were incapable, because you believed movement required permission from your emotions. You treated duty like a suggestion. You treated discipline like a feeling you could summon. And when it did not come, you forgave yourself. You said tomorrow. You said next week. You said when things settle. But nothing settles. The samurai did not wait for courage before entering battle. The monk did not wait for peace before sitting in meditation. They moved because the task existed, not because they felt like it. This is the difference between those who build and those who wait, between those who act and those who hope. You do not need another reason. You do not need another video. You need to stop asking your emotions for permission. This is Discipline Dojo. If you are here to train, subscribe. If not, leave now. Type this sentence in the comments. Nothing else. I act without permission. Chapter 1. The collapse of motivation. Motivation is not a system. It is a spark. It appears when conditions align, when you feel rested, inspired, or threatened enough to move. And when those conditions fade, so does the spark. You return to stillness, not because you are weak, because you built your life on a fuel source that does not last. The modern world worships motivation. It sells you speeches, quotes, highlight reels, before and after images. It tells you to feel something first, then act. This is backwards. Action does not follow feeling. Feeling follows action. The samurai understood this. They did not train when they felt strong. They trained until strength became inevitable. They did not wait for clarity. They moved, and clarity emerged through movement. Motivation is a visitor. Duty is a structure. One comes and goes. The other remains. When you rely on motivation, you give your emotions control over your schedule. You let your mood decide whether today matters. You treat discipline like a hobby, something you do when it feels right. This is why most people never finish what they start. Not because they lack ability, because they wait for permission that never comes. The warrior does not ask how he feels. He asks what must be done. And he does it. Without negotiation, without delay, without applause. This is the first separation between those who move when inspired and those who move because the task exists. You do not need to feel ready. You need to begin. Chapter 2. Yamato Damashii, the spirit that does not yield. Yamato Damashii, the spirit of Japan. Not a feeling, a code. It is the refusal to abandon duty, even when the outcome is uncertain, even when the cost is high, even when no one is watching. It is not about victory. It is about integrity in the face of collapse. The samurai who held his post during a losing battle did not do so because he believed he would win. He did so because his role required it. His duty was not conditional on success. It was absolute. This is what has been lost. In the modern age, you are taught to move only when reward is visible, when progress is guaranteed, when the effort feels worth it. But duty does not negotiate. It does not ask if you are tired. It does not care if you are afraid. It exists independent of your emotional state. Yamato Damashii is the understanding that you are not the center, that your life is not about comfort, that your role in the world requires action, regardless of how you feel about it. This does not mean you ignore rest. It means you do not let comfort become your master. You do not let ease become your default. You do not let your nervous system decide what is possible. The spirit that does not yield is not loud. It does not announce itself. It simply continues. When others stop, it moves. When others justify, it acts. When others wait for better conditions, it begins with what is here. This is not aggression. It is calm refusal to abandon the standard. You do not need to feel brave. You need to stop waiting for bravery. You do not need to feel disciplined. You need to stop treating discipline like an emotion. Yamato Damashii is the engine that runs without fuel from the outside. It is the part of you that does not collapse when the world goes quiet. It is the part that remains when motivation dies. And it is built, not discovered, not inherited. Built. Through repetition, through refusal, through the quiet decision to continue when no one would blame you for stopping. This is the second separation, between those who act only when supported and those who act because the task is theirs. Chapter 3. The illusion of readiness. You will never feel ready. Not fully. Not in the way you imagine. Readiness is not a state you arrive at. It is a story you tell yourself to delay action. You say you need more time, more information, more clarity. But what you are really saying is this: I need certainty before I risk failure. And certainty does not exist. The samurai entered battle without knowing the outcome. The craftsman began his work without knowing if the piece would succeed. The monk sat in meditation without knowing if peace would come. They did not wait for readiness. They created it through action. This is the trap. You believe that preparation removes fear, that if you plan enough, research enough, wait enough, the risk will disappear. It will not. Fear does not leave because you are prepared. It leaves because you move despite it. Readiness is not the absence of doubt. It is the decision to act while doubt is present. The modern mind has been trained to optimize, to eliminate variables, to ensure success before starting. But life does not offer that option. You will always lack something: time, money, knowledge, support, energy. If you wait until all conditions are perfect, you will wait forever. The warrior does not ask if he is ready. He asks if the task is his. And if it is, he begins, not because he feels capable, because delay is a choice, and he does not choose it. This is where duty separates from motivation. Motivation waits for readiness. Duty begins without it. Motivation requires certainty. Duty moves through uncertainty. Motivation asks, am I enough? Duty asks, what must be done? The question changes everything. Because the second question does not depend on your emotional state. It depends on reality. And reality does not care if you feel ready. It only cares what you do. This is the third separation. Between those who wait for permission from their emotions and those who give themselves permission through action. You do not need another day. You do not need another sign. You need to stop pretending that readiness will arrive on its own. Chapter 4. The role you were given. You were not placed here to be comfortable. You were placed here to fulfill a role. That role is not always clear. It is not always rewarding. But it is yours. And when you abandon it, you do not feel free. You feel hollow. The samurai understood that his life was not his own. It belonged to his lord, his clan, his code. This was not oppression. It was structure. It gave his actions meaning. It removed the burden of constant choice. He did not wake up and decide whether today mattered. He knew it did, because his role required it. In the modern age, you are told that freedom is the absence of obligation, that the goal is to remove duty, reduce responsibility, and maximize choice. But unlimited choice does not create peace. It creates paralysis. You scroll, you compare, you wonder if you are doing enough, being enough, choosing correctly. And the weight of that freedom crushes you, because freedom without structure is not liberation. It is chaos. The warrior had less freedom than you, but he had more clarity. He knew what was required. He knew what mattered. He knew that his life was not about preference. It was about duty. And that duty gave him direction. You do not need more options. You need to define your role. Not the role society gave you, not the role your parents expect, the role you choose to hold. Father, mother, creator, protector, builder, teacher. Whatever it is, it must be non-negotiable. It must be the thing you do not abandon, even when it is hard, even when no one notices, even when the reward is distant. This is not about sacrifice, it is about identity. When you know your role, decisions become simple. You do not ask if you feel like it. You ask if it serves the role. If it does, you act. If it does not, you do not. The modern mind resists this. It says, "But what about me? What about my happiness?" And the answer is this. Happiness is not found in the absence of duty. It is found in the fulfillment of it. The man who abandons his role does not feel lighter. He feels lost. The woman who refuses responsibility does not feel free. She feels purposeless. Because purpose is not born from comfort. It is born from commitment. This is the fourth separation, between those who drift and those who hold a position, between those who ask what feels good and those who ask what is required. You were given a role, not by force, by existence. And when you step into it fully, without negotiation, you stop asking if life has meaning, because you become the meaning. Chapter 5. The discipline of non-negotiation. Discipline is not about doing hard things. It is about removing the option not to. The warrior did not decide each morning whether to train. Training was not a choice. It was a constant, a non-negotiable part of his existence. This is what separates discipline from motivation. Motivation requires a decision every time. Discipline removes the decision entirely. You do not ask if you will brush your teeth. You do not debate whether to lock your door. These actions are automatic, not because they are easy. Because you decided once, and the decision holds. This is the structure you must build. Not around everything, around the things that matter, the things that define your role, the things that, if abandoned, would collapse your life. For one person, it is training. For another, it is writing. For another, it is showing up for their children without distraction. Whatever it is, it must become law. Not preference, not goal. Law. The moment you allow negotiation, you allow collapse. Because negotiation is not rational. It is emotional. Your tired self will always have a reason to delay. Your distracted self will always find something more urgent. Your comfortable self will always choose ease over effort. If you give them a vote, they will win. Every time. The samurai did not vote. He followed the code. The code did not bend to his mood. His mood bent to the code. This is the inversion you must create. You do not ask your emotions what to do. You tell them. You do not let your energy level determine your schedule. Your schedule determines your energy. You do not wait to feel strong. You act, and strength follows. This requires something most people will not do. You must declare the law. Not privately, not in your head, out loud. Written, witnessed. Because the moment you make it real, your nervous system registers it differently. It stops being a wish. It becomes a boundary. And boundaries, when held, create freedom, not restriction. This is the fifth separation, between those who decide daily and those who decided once, between those who negotiate with themselves and those who hold the line. You do not need more motivation. You need fewer decisions. You need to remove the option to fail, not through force, through structure, through the quiet refusal to let your emotions override your identity. This is discipline, not the ability to suffer. The removal of the choice not to act. Chapter 6. The cost of hesitation. Hesitation is not neutral. It is not rest. It is not caution. It is decay. Every moment you delay, you train yourself to delay again. Every time you negotiate with your own word, you teach yourself that your word does not matter. Every time you choose ease over duty, you make ease easier to choose tomorrow. This is the hidden cost, not the task you avoided, the identity you weakened. The samurai who hesitated in battle did not simply miss an opportunity. He created doubt, and doubt, once allowed, spreads. It moves from one area to another, from training to speech, from speech to commitment, from commitment to character, until the man who once held a code now holds nothing. This is not dramatic. It is mechanical. Your brain does not distinguish between small betrayals and large ones. It only tracks patterns. If you say you will wake at 5 and you wake at 6, your brain learns that your word is flexible. If you say you will not eat sugar and you do, your brain learns that your rules are suggestions. If you say this year will be different and you do nothing different, your brain learns that declarations are meaningless. And once that lesson is learned, discipline becomes impossible, not because you lack willpower, because you have trained yourself not to believe you. The cost of hesitation is not external. It is internal. It is the slow erosion of self-trust. And self-trust is the only resource that matters. Without it, no strategy works, no plan holds, no goal survives contact with discomfort. The man who trusts himself does not need motivation, because he knows that when he says he will act, he will. The man who does not trust himself needs constant reassurance, constant proof, constant external pressure, because he has learned that his internal word is not enough. This is why hesitation must be treated as enemy, not because speed is virtue, because delay is poison. The warrior did not deliberate endlessly. He assessed. He decided. He moved. And if the decision was wrong, he adapted. But he did not remain still, because stillness, when action is required, is not peace. It is cowardice dressed as patience. This is the sixth separation, between those who act imperfectly and those who wait for perfection, between those who build trust through repetition and those who destroy it through delay. You do not have unlimited time. You do not have infinite chances. Every day you hesitate is a day you do not get back. Not because the task was urgent, because you taught yourself that your word is optional. And once that lesson is learned, no amount of motivation will save you. Only duty can. Only the decision to move, regardless of readiness, regardless of fear, regardless of outcome. This is the cost of hesitation, and it is paid in silence. Chapter 7. The warrior's response to weakness. You will feel weak, not once, many times. This is not failure, it is condition. The question is not whether weakness appears. The question is what you do when it does. The samurai did not pretend he was never afraid. He acknowledged fear, and then he moved. Not because the fear disappeared, because his duty was larger than his fear. This is the response you must train, not the elimination of weakness, the refusal to let weakness decide. When you are tired, you do not ask if you should rest. You ask if rest serves your role. If it does, you rest. If it does not, you continue. When you are afraid, you do not ask if the fear is valid. You ask if the task is yours. If it is, you move. If it is not, you do not. The modern mind treats emotion as evidence. It says, I feel anxious, therefore I should not act. I feel tired, therefore I should stop. I feel uncertain, therefore I should wait. But emotion is not evidence. It is signal. And signal can be acknowledged without being obeyed. The warrior acknowledged pain. He did not ignore it, but he did not let it override his code. This is the training, not to become unfeeling, to become unmoved by feeling. There is a difference. The unfeeling man is numb. He does not care. The unmoved man feels everything. But his actions are not controlled by what he feels. They are controlled by what he has decided. This requires practice. You must place yourself in situations where weakness appears and then act anyway. Not to prove something, to build the pattern, to teach your nervous system that discomfort is not danger, that fear is not instruction, that you can feel one thing and do another. This is freedom, not the absence of difficulty, the ability to move through it without waiting for it to pass. The samurai did not wait for fear to leave before drawing his sword. He drew his sword while afraid, and fear, seeing that it had no power, eventually quieted. Not because he conquered it, because he stopped obeying it. This is the seventh separation, between those who let their emotions lead and those who lead their emotions, between those who wait for strength and those who act as if they already have it. You do not need to feel strong. You need to act strong. And over time, the difference disappears. Chapter 8. The path without end. There is no finish line, no moment where you arrive and stop. Duty is not a project. It is a way of being. The samurai did not train until he was good enough, then stop. He trained until he died. Not because he had to, because that was the path he chose. This is what the modern world does not teach. It sells you outcomes. It says, do this for 30 days and you will be transformed. Follow this plan and you will be free. But transformation is not an event. It is a direction. And freedom is not a destination. It is a practice. The moment you believe you have arrived, you begin to decay. The moment you stop training, you start forgetting. The moment you relax your standard, the standard disappears. This is not cruelty. This is reality. Discipline is not something you achieve. It is something you maintain. Duty is not something you complete. It is something you honor every day, without exception, without applause, without end. The warrior did not need a reason to continue. Continuation was the code. He did not ask if today mattered. He knew it did. Because every day is the day you either hold the line or let it fall. And the line is all you have. This does not mean you do not rest. It means you do not quit. Rest is strategic. Quitting is surrender. Rest serves the path. Quitting abandons it. The difference is intent. You rest to continue. You quit to escape. One is part of the system. The other is the collapse of it. This is the eighth separation, the final one. Between those who walk the path until it feels good and those who walk it because it is the path. Between those who need a reason to continue and those who need a reason to stop. You will not wake up one day and feel complete. You will not reach a point where discipline is easy. You will not arrive at a place where duty no longer requires effort. That place does not exist. But this is not a burden. It is the point. The path without end is the only path worth walking, because it is the only one that does not lie to you. It does not promise arrival. It promises direction, and direction is enough. The samurai did not need to know where the path led. He only needed to know that he was on it. This is what you must accept. You will never feel finished. You will never feel like you have done enough. You will never feel like you have arrived. And that is exactly as it should be. Because the moment you stop moving, you stop being. The moment you stop training, you stop becoming. The moment you abandon duty, you abandon yourself. This is not philosophy. This is mechanism. You are what you repeat. And if you repeat nothing, you become nothing. The path is eternal, but you are not. So walk it. Not because it will end, because you will. Define one duty you will not negotiate. One action you will perform regardless of readiness, regardless of feeling, regardless of circumstance. Write it clearly. Place it where you will see it every morning. And begin today, not when you feel ready, not when conditions improve. Today, continue without exception. There is no timeline. There is no completion. There is only the decision to act or the decision to delay. Choose, and then move. You have heard the principles. You understand the path. Now the question is whether you will walk it. Most will not. Most will watch, agree, and return to waiting. They will say tomorrow. They will say next week. They will say when things are easier, and nothing will change. But you are still here. That means something. It means you have not abandoned yourself completely. It means there is still a part of you that remembers what you are capable of. Do not let that part go silent. If this resonated, subscribe. Not for more content, for the reminder. Because you will forget. You will fall back into comfort. You will begin to negotiate again. And when that happens, you will need to return here. Not for motivation, for recalibration. The dojo does not close. it remains. Whether you train or not, the path does not disappear. You simply stop walking it. So subscribe. Come back when you weaken, and begin again, without judgment, without shame. Simply return to duty. That is the practice.